Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alpine F1 Manager 22 career mode. In this episode, we go to Baku. Alright, so looking at our post-race debrief, we have stuff about how we could improve our brake cooling. We're exceeding our staff expectations, which is always good. Just some overview about the race. You can pause if you want to read that. We've manufactured both our rear wing and our front wing, so we should have plenty of copies of those. We get our helipad upgrade, which increases our team attractiveness to 20. How much to upgrade that again? That's 800,000. No, we're gonna hold off on that. We're just go to the inbox again. We had another upgrade. That was to our team hub. Let's visit the team hub. It's 2.2 to upgrade that, and it's going to gain 60% for the weekly experience gain for our staff. Do you want to spend that? You know what? I think we're actually going to look here. How much is it to do the race simulator? I think we're going to upgrade our race simulator. So from the cars tab, if we go to the warehouse, you can see here that our suspension, we actually have 3 copies of the suspension. I'm just trying to kind of follow what they currently have in stock. I think it's easy to kind of have just one copy of each part for each car. So we're going to manufacture just one of these. It'll be done before Azerbaijan. Back at the car parts development screen, we currently have no development going on outside of the underfloor research. We're going to go develop a project on the only part of the car that we have not worked on yet, and that is the side pod. So we have 28 days left for CFD. I think we're going to just go ahead and we're going to use 2 hours of CFD time. Because 28 days, that's going to be, when is the, we're going to go back and just double check real quick and see when does the, I don't mean to do that. When does our research end? Our research is completed in 35 days. So we have enough room to kind of do 2 projects here if we're lucky. So we're going to develop the side pods here. We're going to go 2 hours on the CFD, and for the wind tunnel hours, we're going to go 25 hours. Design focus, we're going to show our rank to the grid. We're just going to work our airflow middle up and our airflow middle up here, and then we're going to just increase our drag reduction. I know we can crank this a lot more. Just kind of want to get a stable 5th, get a good balance compared to the field. So that's gonna be our preset for the side pods. Engineer approach, we have currently 8 engineers available. We're gonna put 4 on this. It's gonna be done. We're gonna rush this just so it's done as quickly as possible. Alright, so from the inbox, we are just gonna go move forward here. We're gonna see what we get in our inbox. We have our scouting completed. Oh, that's on Diego Tondi. So our board confidence check-in, with board review in 2 months. We can actually, let's look at our financial report, see what it kind of shows us. Monthly balance. What is there for our year cost cap? Okay, we have spent 19 million on car development. We have spent 9 million on facilities. Is this for the month or for the entire year? I believe that's for the full year. We're gonna go look at our inbox again. So we look at our financial report. We already did that. Check in. We already did that. We're gonna go look at the contract for Diego Tondi. Okay, so Diego Tondi, he has 6 months remaining on his contract. He's got a $5.3 million salary with a $1.5 million buyout. Yes, his contract ends the end of 2022. So we're going to go and actually look at what our current head of aerodynamics has. Alright, so Diego Tondi, he gets paid about $2 million a year more than our current head of aerodynamics. With kind of the contract our head of aerodynamics has and just his current rating, I think he should be fine where he is. I don't think we're going to look at Tondi. I just kind of wanted to see where we were in comparison to those around us. But potentially here we could find ourselves looking at some other positions in the team that we could scout. Right, so looking at our staff, we have our 2 current race engineers. We have one that's 75 overall rated, and we have one that is 77 overall rated. I think we're going to go and scout because the highest we have is Bono. We have the two Mercedes guys up here. We have Riccardo Adamani with who is he with? I forget. I think he's with Leclerc maybe. But Ben Mitchell, he is currently at Aston Martin. We are going to do a detailed scouting on him. Alright, so another staff member that we could look at. I understand his rating is low, but he's two better than our current 36-year-old race engineer. But we are going to go scout him, and potentially we could find ourselves with a couple different race engineers, maybe at the end of this year or maybe even earlier. Since we have two scouts available, and I did not realize that, we're going to go scout some more drivers. Two to be exact. Driver number 1 is going to be Alex Albon. We're just going to kind of get a detailed scout on what he's looking at ratings-wise, and whether or not we are going to consider him for our open seats coming up next year. So driver number 2, Valtteri Bottas. He's been the major pain in our sides outside of the top contenders that you're expecting to see up near the front. We're going to just give him a detailed scout and kind of see how we feel about him, and potentially if he's cheap enough, we might consider him bringing over the team. Alright, so back at the inbox monthly car development report. We need to improve our brake cooling. Maybe that was something I needed to look at before we went into developing those car parts, but we will have a chance before the next reset in the aerodynamics development part. Alright, so we have a low chassis part, I believe that is being stocked currently. Alright, so it looks like we're going to actually have 2 more chassis coming in, so this looks like that warning is kind of a little bit unwarranted. So we're going to start moving forward here. Got some manufacturing done of the suspension. So that is in. I believe we have 4 of those, so that's good to see. Back to the inbox and continue. And we have our practice sessions for Azerbaijan, so we're going to go to race prep and we're going to go over our performance targets. Right, so our performance targets, most of them are just qualifying based, because I didn't feel like we can get the fastest lap, and I don't like putting the qualifying streak up there. If we finish both drivers in the top 10 this weekend, we're going to get a $2.7 million reward. The qualifying targets, we have to have 1 reach Q3, we have to have 2 reach Q2. The first one I feel pretty confident about. The second one, potentially here, I'm not sure how we compare when it comes to the kind of high-speed stuff, so hopefully we have a good weekend, but we're going to move on to practice from Azerbaijan. Alright, so we have new parts on the car in the suspension. The only thing with the suspension, or chassis, I mean, sorry, is we only have 2 copies. So that's what we got the warning of. We're going to have, you know, more copies made, so hopefully we do not have a damaged chassis. If we do, I'm going to be okay just kind of putting them back on the old chassis. Another thing is that we have some pretty worn parts, especially in these areas. But I feel like with the pace of our car and our ability to kind of, you know, have these good results, I think it might be beneficial for us, especially with Ocon's car. We only have 2 engines remaining. We might need to take the E6 engine, put it in the car for qualifying, and then just swap it out for brand new everything on both cars, have them both go to the back, and potentially have us kind of go through the field, because we should be able to pass here with those long straightaways here, and be able to kind of pass and stuff. So yeah, no backup chassis. We got worn engine parts, so you might take some grid penalties. I'll update you on that at qualifying, but we're going to do a lopsided strategy for qualifying, or practice, I mean, with Duhan in place of Ocon, focusing on the setup, and then we're going to have Alonso do just a very, very long run. Alright, so looking at the practice results, we were kind of far down. We weren't doing really any pushing. We were just kind of trying to focus on what we could control. We had a lot of worn parts in the cars, and those are excuses I'm going to go with. Fernando 7th, top of the board. Leclerc, Duhan in 17th. In first practice, where is he? Pierre Gasly, you see he completed 17 laps. He got involved in an accident. I'll insert a clip now.
Let's have a look. Now look at this. It was the Alpha Tauri driver involved. There's the crash.
See, he got into the wall pretty good there, but did not end his session, just required a lot of damage repair. Looking at practice 2, a lot of long runs in this one for us. We finished 14th and 18th. The top of the board is Perez, but Lando Norris in the McLaren also had a wreck. Here's a clip of that.
Like a single car. Here's the replay. Now just take a look at the McLaren. Thank goodness nobody else was involved. That was a big crash.
Fairly decent impact there. On to practice 3. Top of the board was Leclerc. We were 16th and 19th, but Sergio Perez, he wrecked himself out of practice, so I'll insert a clip of that now.
Let's see what happened there. So let's look at this. There's Sergio Perez. Dear me, they won't have been expecting that.
So that's the first one we've seen at that corner, and that was a fairly good hit there. You can see the wing flying off, but that actually made him retire from the session. Alright, so we're getting ready for Q1. I actually went through and gave Alonso every part that we've not currently used. We've gone through and assigned it so we can take some grid penalties for the race. I think just with how Azerbaijan is, I think we can set up our cars to kind of pass somebody if we absolutely need to. So I'm going to put both cars at the back of the field, but before the start of the race. So we're going to set the gearbox and all the other stuff, and then we're going to get ready for the Grand Prix when we do that. And we will line up from the back of the grid with both cars. So we have 71% engine in for qualifying, 67% ERS, and 100% gearbox. Ocon is a little bit more lucky. We're 100, 100, 100 because we had 3 parts that we've still not used here. We took the penalty to get the ERS going when we started in the back from I forget which race that was exactly, but yeah, we had to take the penalty there. But for qualifying, we're just going to do one flying lap here. Hopefully we can advance through. We're going to try to advance all the way to Q3, but we're still going to take the grid penalties. Alright, so you see here we have a installed powertrain on car 2, which will exceed the season limit, and we will incur a grid penalty when we use it. So we're going to take that, and we're going to move on to qualifying.
How's the radio on track?
Loud and clear.
And green light.
Right, so we're going to ride on board here with Esteban Ocon. Esteban is actually through, but we're behind Alonso, so Alonso's got space here, so we're going to see where we end up. Alonso needs to gain time here. He's got 8 tenths over Magnussen in 16th, but we have Sainz below the cutoff line. Sainz is going to move him up, and it's going to move Alonso down. We are all out on old tires that we did our first run on. Alonso's up in his first sector. Ocon's up in his first sector. Looks like we're catching the back bumper of, I believe that is the McLaren here in front of us, so they're kind of slow compared to our car at the moment, which is interesting. Hopefully we can get a tow off of their car, but not have them check us up here. We're going to see what Alonso does with this middle sector. He is down. Where does Ocon go? Ocon goes up. Alright, and coming to the line, we're going to see where Alonso goes. Where did Alonso end up? And Alonso jumps all the way up to 4th. And Ocon jumps all the way up to 6th. Alright, so Q1, we have Leclerc, top of the board. We have Ocon, 7th place with his little grid penalty thing here. I believe that's the first time we've seen that this so far this season. Bottom of the timing stand here and eliminated in Q1 is Daniel Ricciardo. That's it's a big blow there for McLaren, actually even having Norris kind of right on that cut line. So you have Ricciardo, Vettel, Stroll, Albon, and Latifi eliminated in Q1. Alright, so for Q2, we're going to send both cars out to just do 2 laps on old tires, and then if we need to, we're going to send them out later, but we're going to move on to Q2.
Radio check.
Radio check, okay? Radio check.
Right, so Fernando Alonso starting his final Q2 lap here. We're a little bit closer to the cut line than I wanted to be, but I think we have a fairly okay gap. We have a couple cars behind us that I'm going to be a little bit worried about. We're a little bit close to the Mercedes in front of us, but hopefully that is not a problem. We're going to see what they do here. Ocon's actually on old tires because we accidentally sent him out on fresh tires on his first run. That's the second week in a row, I believe, we've done that. But they're both down their first sectors. Alright, session is ended. Right, let's see what Alonso does his second sector. He was down his first time through here. He's up his middle, and so is Ocon. Coming to the line, let's see what Alonso can do. Ocon stays 1.1 seconds above the cut line, but it looks like we are both safely through. So those eliminated in Q2 are Zhou Guanyu, George Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, and Lando Norris. Alright, so it turns out I'm blind. We did not send Ocon out on the worn tires in the last session, so we do have 2 brand new sets for Q3. I believe we're going to wait maybe just a minute, and then we're going to send both cars out. And then we're going to send them out for one final flyer at the very, very end, and hopefully we can find ourselves in a good position here. Heading into the race where it's not going to matter at all because we're going to start from the back of the grid.
Radio check.
Yeah, radio check.
Alright, so starting a lap here with Ocon, I actually just realized we just didn't switch the tires here, so we could have a set for the race just in case we find ourselves in a position to where using the soft tire is going to be beneficial. We are going to start the race at the back of the field anyways, so our qualifying position does not really matter going into Q3 or heading into the race, so we're just going to risk it on some worn tires, hopefully have both cars finish in the top 8 so we can get our incentive. So Alonso up but down, Ocon down, now up. We're going to see where Alonso finishes first. Alonso is going to jump up to 5th, and where's Ocon going to go? Ocon's going to gain some time, but he's going to stay 8th. Alright, so your results following Q3 and not your starting grid because we're going to take some penalties here. We're going to have Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Lewis Hamilton, Kevin Magnussen, Zhou Guanyu, George Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, Lance Stroll, Alex Albon, and Nicholas Latifi.
The grid is packed and there's electricity in the air, but there's no surprises in that. It's race day.
We didn't see any unexpected prowess from Alpine during qualifying, but they did well for themselves. Everything's still open to them for the race. This weekend, Red Bull displayed promise during qualifying. Now they need to capitalize on their grid position and get a good race under their belts. And the weather is sunny here today, apart from a few clouds. Let's hope they remain scattered on the horizon.
Well, whatever happens, it's sure to be a tremendous race day here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Alright, so going for a pretty unique strategy here. We're going to stay on the hards on both cars. It looks like our pit lap's going to be around lap 33. We're not going to get into that delta area where we're going to be at a disadvantage, kind of pitting on the softs and having them last that long. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good strategy for us to be able to kind of push through the pack on these tires, make sure we can get ahead of some people when they start to pit, and then pit late, have fresh tires, and hopefully hold our position.
Quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. Looking here at Fernando Alonso. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. Further back, we've got Esteban Ocon. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. Everything's been building to this. Here we go, with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Alright, so I forgot to take the grid penalties. So we have, look at our powertrain here. Hopefully we don't have a super worn one. We got all fresh stuff for Ocon, and we are going to have some pretty meh DRR ERS for Alonso. So that is my bad. We're going to skip through here. We're going to see what goes on this first couple laps or so. I'll put him on the driver's tab. We got Ocon all the way down in 18th. So Ocon's going to at least have the opportunity here to move up through the field. Make sure to take the grid penalties for next weekend. I don't necessarily remember where the next race is at, but Alonso, he is up to 5th. We're going to push this fuel kind of early up until the DRS is activated, and then we'll actually focus on Ocon a little bit here and put him on some overtake strategy. So we're going to move ahead a little bit here. We don't have to worry about tire management too much, so we're going to wait till the DRS is enabled, and it is this lap.
DRS enabled. DRS
We are going to ride on board here with Esteban Ocon at 2x speed, and once he hits this backstretch here, we're going to tell him, well, we're going to actually, yeah, we're going to tell him to overtake because he needs it to make sure he gets alongside Vettel ahead of him. So he's going to have a great opportunity here to move by Vettel. Now he's got the 2 McLarens ahead of him. Is that a good time to go into neutral or not? Let's keep it on overtake. Finish the pass.
A good overtake from Alpine.
Alright, so we get by Vettel here. Got Ricardo ahead of us. Alright, are we going to get alongside of him and ahead of him before the next corner? That we are, so we're going to have a great shot here to get by Lando Norris. Alright, so Ocon moves up to 15th position. He's going to have a hell of a shot here on the inside of Norris. Come on, get alongside him. Alright, we're going to tell him to deploy, just so he can start to gap him here. Hopefully catch up to the back bumper here of Mick Schumacher. Alright, so we're up to 14th place. We're going to go on to neutral just until the backstretch here, and then once we get that the furthermost corner on this racetrack, we're going to go on the overtake, so hopefully we can get by Mick and George. Alright, overtake is on now. Use the overtake. We're going to get by Mick. And I think we're going to have to go on harvest here for at least a lap or two. Alright, we're going to go on to balanced here with him, as Alonso's ahead of both Red Bulls, so we're going to have him go on neutral as well.
That's some more ground gained for Alpine.
We're going to have, while Ocon is pushing back here, we're going to put Alonso onto overtake or deploy and see if he can gain up to the 2 cars ahead. We're going to wait until it hits probably about halfway and see if it's kind of worth the trouble to kind of gain up to the 2 Ferraris ahead of us. Oh, Ocon just spun.
Let's take a look at the replay. Okay, so there we have the Alpine.
That's a front
And
wing.
there we see the crash. And that was a bitter blow for the team.
Damn it, Ocon. Alright, so we're going to pit onto... We already have these. We're going to have to pit on the mediums. Here, we're going to go into car parts. We have the front wing that's going to be replaced. Total pit time. Yeah, so we're just going to take the mediums here. Damn it. At least we got 2 sets of them. We're going to pit Ocon in this lap. We have no DRS help here either, so that's unfortunate.
We've had a crash.
Alright, and it's going to show the crash
have a look.
again.
Now have a watch of this.
Hopefully from a
Looks
different
like
angle.
Ocon.
Nope. Okay, we're going to skip through this. Alright, so we're going to see where Alonso is in comparison to the rest of the field. We're going to have him... We're going to actually evaluate our strategy here. Can we put the hards back on and make them last? Let's just take a look here. Let's add new strategy. Let's add another stint, and we're going to do it on the hard compound. How long do we need to make these hards last? Alright, I think we can go hard on these soft tires, hopefully gain some time, and then hit directly onto the hard compounds that we already had on the car. Hopefully we can catch Latifi. So he's on harvest. We're going to go neutral. We're going to go aggressive on the tires. But we are going to be sitting here, and we're going to focus on Alonso for a little bit. Got a yellow flag sector 2.
Couple of cars off there.
Oh, we got a crash.
Copy.
Here's the replay. Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one.
Alright, so Lewis, is Lewis going to lock up here? No, it's going to be the,
The contact there.
which Haas
there's
is that?
chaos on the track.
It's Magnussen.
7.
Okay, so that's going to be a spot for,
Copy.
for Ocon, hopefully. So we've got a second over the 2 Red Bulls behind us. We're going to skip forward here. Hopefully if they do get by us, we can kind of, or get into the second range, we can kind of, yeah, okay, we're going to start harvesting now, just so we can kind of sit behind them and, get involved in that DRS train. We'll even go, neutral on the tires for a bit. Oh, Perez just blew our doors off. Okay, we're going to have to go back on the neutral, go on to aggressive, and, yeah, we're going to deploy to catch up to him.
Red Bull moved up.
Alright, so we're in the DRS now, and we're going to go back on to harvest.
Alpine just advanced.
Alright, we're out of the DRS. God dang it, Perez. I think it's Verstappen getting on our case here. So we can run behind Verstappen here. If Verstappen will stop.
Red Bull gained a place.
We're going to sit behind him, recharge. We're going to go back onto neutral, and we're going to actually just ride for a bit here. So they're going to have to pit at some point, because what tires are they on? They're all on the mediums and softs. So if they're on the softs now, I don't know if they're going to be able to make them last that long. Ocon's all the way back up to 12th. We're going to have him just go straight out attack now. Because why not? We got another crash on track. Who is that for and why?
They crashed out.
Sonoda.
Take a look now. Now look at this. It
Yeah,
was
we're just
the
having a
Alpha
crash
Tauri
fest here.
driver involved.
Alright, so he's going to lock up. Is he going to go? Is he going to be out? Is he going to move? Is he done?
That's going to be a big blow to the team.
Is that a safety car? Should probably check. Overhead map. No safety car. Is he out? No, he's moving. Okay. So we're all good. That might be good here for Ocon. Alright, so Perez has just boxed. We are holding neutral behind Leclerc, who's got 10 seconds on us. Looks like we're going to need some extreme luck here to get by Leclerc here. Leclerc is already 7 seconds behind us, and we've already pitted. We got a safety car.
Disabled. DRS disabled.
Oh crap, Alonso's already passed the pit lane. So we're going to give the cars behind a shot at the pits, but is this going to finish the race for us? Are we going to be able to do anything here with these soft tires? Because we're going to have to pit here. Can we put soft tires on? Make them last. We go racing. Okay, so that's the earliest lap we can put them on. If we can go to here. Yeah, I mean, if we put it on to conserve, I think we should be good for a bit. But I think we're gonna hold neutral on the engine mode there. We're gonna go back here. We gotta remember to harvest, conserve, 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 harvest.
Safety car.
All right, what's the caution for? Who's out? Stroll's out. All right, who's pitting in this time? That is Ocon. All right, so we're gonna go fast forward up through here for a little bit, and we're gonna watch Stroll's crash. Crash number 4 of the race. Oh yeah, he's stuck in the wall.
They won't have been expecting that. The team are really
Right. Alright, so here is Ocon. We're going to fast forward through. We're going to see where Vettel comes out. Ocon comes out 12th. Alonso's going to come out 3rd. Hopefully the safety car lasts a couple of laps here. If we can get Ocon caught up to the pack here, that'd be amazing. So Ocon should be able to go to the end of the race fairly easily on these tires.
Car will be in this lap. Safety car in this lap.
Right, safety car in this lap. Standard,
Copy.
balanced, neutral, standard, balanced, neutral. All right. So we are going to wait for the safety car to go completely. And with 16th place catching up to the field. All right, so we're going to jump on board with Ocon here. See what he's doing. We're going to sit and wait with him. We're going to wait until DRS is enabled with Ocon, because if we can do exactly what Ocon did in the start, that'd be amazing. All right.
Enabled.
So we're going to put him on overtake right now, see if that'll help him. Because we need to get by Ricardo here.
Energy to push.
Copy now.
2 times speed. All right, how are we looking with tires here? Where can I look to see that? Where's the information? What happens if we push? So we're going to use some of these tires up here. Be able to push. Okay, we got overtake and we got DRS. So it's going to be sweet. We have to catch up to George Russell here. We're going to deploy. Make sure we get those good corner exits. We're got down 0.3 of a second. Alonso, he's lost DRS to the Ferraris out front, but that's okay. I don't think they're even remotely our competition today. All right, so holding the overtake here, we're on deploy. We need to go on to overtake. I meant to get him off deploy because deploy is gonna. Oh, we got another. What's with all these crashes? Safety car. Alright, so we're not going to pit anybody. Because it's too early. But holy hell, this is like safety car number 2. Crashes galore. We've gained 2 spots with Ocon, so Ocon's going to be on a net positive here. And we're going to skip forward here and see what happens. This looks like Albon.
There's been a crash.
All right, let's see what happened to Albon.
Now we see the Williams here.
That's a bad corner to do that at. Ooh.
That's an off, and a big off.
All right. So it'll be interesting here if we see anybody pit. Because we see people pit here. There's a whole line of cars behind them. So we're going to go 8 times here and watch them go through the pits. And then after that, we'll skip forward until the safety car restart. I would have loved to see Ferrari pit there. That would have been just like perfect.
Safety car is in.
All right, so safety car in this lap. Balance, neutral. We're going to go aggressive on the tires for Ocon, neutral, balanced, and then standard for Alonso. And then we're going to
Come on. Copy.
watch this restart here. I'm going to skip through it a little bit. We're going to actually let Alonso use deploy a little bit. We need him to catch the back bumper here of Sainz. So if we can get the DRS just for a lap, that's going to be extremely beneficial for us. So we're going to go back onto neutral. We're going to go back on deploy because he's getting a little bit far behind. We're going to put him back on neutral. DRS enabled.
DRS enabled.
Okay, so we have just gapped. We're going to focus here on him, and then we're going to let Ocon, we're going to put Ocon on just overtake. He's going to
overtake now, please. Press
he's going to be moving up here. So all right, so we have overtaken one of the Ferraris. We're going to go deploy so we can catch the other Ferrari, not just to get the lead, but because I want to get the DRS from Leclerc. If we can get the DRS from Leclerc, we're going to be in a really good position here because we're going to have a huge gap to the Red Bulls behind us. Alright, so we're going to jump down onto neutral right now. We're going to lose some time, but we're going to have DRS on Leclerc here. And once we get close enough to him, I'm going to put him onto Harvest. I think actually we're just going to have to hold neutral here. So we're going to gap Sainz, but we're going to be sitting pretty close to Leclerc here. Alright, so that's great to see. We're going to... Oh, don't overtake him, don't overtake him, don't overtake him. Harvest. Alright, we're going to have Alonso harvest now. And hopefully have Leclerc pass him.
That's a good overtake from Alpine.
We have Ocon making moves here. So we're going to go neutral. Now that we're behind Leclerc. We're hopefully just going to have him in the DRS. We're going to see what's going on here with Ocon. We need him to deploy to gain those 0.4 of a second in this sector here. Hopefully he can catch up to the back bumper. Oh, he's so close. He's so close. Is he going to get it? Is he going to get it? Is he going to get it? Once I see that DRS sign, I'm going to go harvest. We're going to go harvest. So we gain the fastest lap here with Esteban Ocon. Hopefully he can sit behind these two cars here. We're going to go harvest on Alonso as he moves to the lead. Alright, we're going to fast forward here, just through here a little bit. See what happens to Alonso. Alonso stays in the lead. Okay, he's already getting passed by one of the Ferraris. Going to go on to deploy so he can catch back up. And then he's going to go back on harvest. Sit behind him a little bit. DRS is fully charged for Ocon. We're going to jump back on board with him. Go on to neutral with Alonso. Might have literally just changed that, but I am not that focused. Okay, we got 2.4 seconds to Bottas. We're going to deploy. We're going to look at our tires here. Tires are looking good. Gotta gain that 5/10 of a second here through this section of the racetrack so we can catch Bottas. Bottas is gonna have DRS, so if we don't have DRS here, he's gonna be able to pull away from us. Alright, Alonso is pretty far behind Sainz, so we're gonna have him deploy. So it looks like Ocon is now in the DRS of Bottas. We're going to let him continue to push here. Go on overtake. And, oh! Is that going to be another safety car? It is. Bottas went straight on. He's out of the race.
Safe.
Sounds like there's been a crash. Let's see what happened there. Now we see Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, man, is he out of the race?
Something went very, very wrong there.
God, that is a bummer for him. Yeah, he's out. We have 3 cars out of the race at the moment. Crazy. Yeah, not worth it to pit. Not worth it at all to pit. So we're going to be able to recharge our ERS here. We're going to have one of the Ferraris behind us, so hopefully we can... oh, we got safety car in this lap.
Safety car in this lap.
Copy.
Alright, neutral, balanced, standard. Aggressive, balanced, neutral. And then we are going to go... You know what? Since we're second row, we're going to ride on board with Fernando Alonso on this restart. You've never seen a restart from this view. We're going to let him, as the safety car pulls away.
Recharge off.
Okay.
Once we see that Sainz is starting to pull away, we're going to go on to deploy. Alright, so he's starting to go. We're going to go on deploy. We are only going on deploy so we can stick with them and hopefully gap Leclerc behind us. We're going to go on a harvest now just because I want him to concede the place. I want him to be in the DRS. Alright, so we're going to go neutral. There we go. Got Sainz ahead of us. I wish we could prevent somebody from passing somebody just to be in the DRS. Just stick in the DRS. Alright, so we're going to go deploy now because Sainz is going to have some great speed out of these corners. Alright, we're going to go neutral. And hopefully we can hold that. And we get the draft down the straightaway. We're going to go harvest now because he's super close. We're not going to have DRS this lap. But on harvest, we're going to have shots to be able to... okay, we need to go on deploy now just to get close to him. And then we're going to go on to... We're going to stay on deploy because we need to stay close. At least when the DRS is here. That's going to get activated the next time by. So we're going to keep him on deploy. We're going to watch from far because we've seen the restart. We see how close he is to Sainz. We're going to have him go on to harvest. The DRS is enabled. We're going to jump on board with Mr. Ocon here. We're going to put Ocon on overtake.
You've got energy to push. Copy.
So if we can overtake him here, Gasly being him, we're going to go immediately on to deploy, hopefully break the DRS here. We're going to look at Alonso. Alonso's still sticking with Sainz very well there. We're going to have him go back onto neutral here.
Good overtake from Alpine.
We need to have him deploy to catch up. Alonso hopefully can stick within that 1 second range. He is not, so we're going to have him go on deploy. And we are hopefully going to stick within 1 second, and we are. Oh, close. Alright, so Alonso is now super close to the back bumper of Sainz. Just need him to stick close to him. Exiting this corner. Ocon is now 0.5 of a second. We're going to go on to harvest now. We're going to have Ocon harvest as well, behind Verstappen. Just because he's going to have DRS here. He's going to be able to make a move. We're going to lose time here. Perez has got DRS on Leclerc. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have to deploy here. Or actually overtake. And then go deploy. So Alonso's in the lead now. We need him to be passed immediately. Cannot let him lead through a couple sectors here.
Just advanced.
Alright, so he is behind Science now. We are 1.1 seconds.
Oh,
1.0.
Ferrari just gained a place.
Alright, so now we have to harvest behind Perez.
Recharge on.
Copy that.
Alright, so we're going to make Alonso deploy. Hopefully get the DRS here. And is he going to get it? No, he's not. Okay, so we're going to harvest. So we're up with the top 6 now. So we're going to keep these guys harvesting. Hopefully none of them fall off the pack here. Ocon has fallen off the pack. So he's got to go and deploy now. So he's back in the DRS. So we're going to keep him there. And then we're going to put him on to harvest. Alright, so he is now close to Alonso. So we're going to have him deploy. Alonso's far off, so we need Alonso to deploy. Okay, so we got both boys in the DRS now. We're going to have them just hold on harvest for a second. So we need them to have ERS here. Alonso having a time here trying to keep the DRS on. So we're just going to let them both harvest, use each other a little bit. We're holding a 3-second gap to Gasly behind us. Alright, so we're going to go neutral with Alonso. And we're going to wait until Ocon has DRS or ERS. And we're going to see if we can make a charge here to get to the back bumpers of... Alright, so Alonso is ahead. We're going to make him deploy and hopefully gain up here, because if we can kind of string together those guys together up to the... Oh, we need to deploy Ocon as well. Ocon is falling off of Alonso. That's not good.
DRS.
We're gonna have them go actually attack. I didn't even realize what lap we're on. Wow, so we've kind of mismanaged this a little bit too much here, or managed it a little too much here, and lost focus of what the goals was. So this is the last lap here. Full push that, but we have to harvest.
No,
And then we're gonna go on to
post
neutral,
required.
and let's see what we can do here. Alright. So we are 5th and 6th. That was a good result.
Check a flag.
Yeah, well done again. Good strategy. Good start.
Happy with this, yep. That's all good.
All in all, Fernando Alonso had a good race here today.
Is that a person inside a person?
This wasn't bad at all from Alpine. Now the question is, how can they make it better next time?
I agree, they have some ironing out to do, but they certainly have what it takes to get there.
That's right, and they finished the race weekend in 3rd place in the constructor standings.
For the next round in Formula 1, the teams are traveling to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal.
Alright, so we have a fantastic race with Esteban Ocon gaining 12 spots. Even after having that crash early, we're able to rebound, get the 5th and 6th place finish there. Up front, they're charging very hard. I wish I would have saw how many laps we had left. I would have forced them to push way harder throughout the end there. Just kind of lost track of the laps, especially with how many freaking safety cars we had there at the end. That was also a crazy aspect of it. Your points for the race, your winners, Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen, podium, Perez, Alonso, Ocon, Gasly, Schumacher, Zhou, and Russell. Everyone else misses out points. We have 17 finishers. Bottas crashed out by himself. Albon crashed out by himself. So did Lance Stroll. We had a couple accidents in that race too. I believe Hamilton got hit by Kevin Magnussen, so that was another incident in the race, along with Ocon. But we had the best recovery there, and I didn't even realize that we had the fastest lap with Esteban Ocon. So looking at the Drivers' Championship, Leclerc top of the board still. Sainz closing the gap a little bit. Seems like it's going to be the Red Bull show, kind of, or the Ferrari show, unlike the real life Red Bull show that's going on at the moment. Verstappen up 2 spots. Alonso drops down 1 to 5th. He's got 105 points total. Russell moves up a spot. Ocon moves up a spot. Ocon has a points total of 34, so he's about, got a third of what Alonso has this season. I want to see him pick that up. Scrolling down to the bottom, Magnussen gets points, or he got points a couple weeks ago, but Mick Schumacher gets 4 points in this race. Lando Norris, Yuki Tsunoda, Vettel, Albon, Latifi, and Stroll still don't have a point scored. Looking at your constructors, those who gained points today was Haas, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, Alpine, Red Bull, and Ferrari. Mercedes bringing home the total points of 1 for the weekend. Very, very bad weekend for them. We're extending our gap with our 5th, 6th place finish. Alfa Romeo gets 2. Bottom of the table, Aston and Williams still have not scored a point. We are sitting very, very good in our position. Like I said before, we're gapping Mercedes, so I think our goal now for this year is to kind of keep Mercedes completely behind us, which is definitely a possibility and something that we can kind of healthily do throughout the rest of the season. Alright, so leaving Baku, we gain 824 for Ocon. I was surprised we're able to get his track acclimatization stuff as high as we did, but yeah, it looks like you get 35 per session completed, so interesting to see there. Or no, you only get 30 for doing practice 3, so Duhan gets his development point, which is great to see. Want to keep moving him up and potentially get him as close as we can to 80 before the end of the year. So from the financial report screen, we had to pay out our bonuses to our 2 drivers for finishing 6th or higher, but we get some performance guarantee stuff, and we get our finishing streak, finishing in the top 10. We are going to gain a healthy chunk of change there from our performance incentives. Alright, so the manufacturing is complete on our new chassis. So looking at Jack Doohan, we're going to just increase his smoothness. That seems like the only thing that we're going to be dumping points into for a little while since it's so low. Alright, so that ends today's episode. We do not take the grid penalties, unfortunately. I was planning on doing it because I thought we'd be able to move up through the field, and especially with how many safety cars we had, that would have been probably one of the best weekends we could have had, having those finishes that we got there, and also just having all those fresh engines and pieces to use throughout the year. The wear on them are getting kind of high. It might be just how many laps I do in practice. I don't really push on those parts too much in practice, but yeah, our reliability does go down a fair bit. However, we have Alonso dropping down to 5th in the standings. We have Ocon in 8th. We're ahead of our season objective, and yeah, we're sitting pretty here going into Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. So if you like today's episode, like, comment, subscribe, all that dumb YouTube stuff, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.